Tonight we're going to take you back 7 years to the first ever three-fight classic series between Greg Haugen and Vinny Pazienza. Pazienza, of course, on the left of the picture in the white trunks against Greg Haugen. This for Haugen's IBF Lightweight Championship, June 1987, in the hometown of Pazienza, Rhode Island. Of course, those of you who can remember back to 1987 will recall that in December of '86, Greg Haugen actually beat Jimmy Paul for the IBF title. And Jimmy Paul, if my memory serves right, I think was one of the first IBF champions. And this was his first defense in June the following year. 15 rounds. And the intense three-fight series between these three. One of the series of matches and returns and rubbers between fighters that will be remembered for a long, long time. And that, of course, prior to Greg Haugen fighting Hector Camacho, of course, on two separate occasions. Talk about rivalry. So the flashy, fast Vinny Pazienza and the more solid, down-to-earth Greg Haugen. And these two absolutely tailor-made for each other. And I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the careers of both men. And you can probably recall that Haugen turned pro back in 1982, no longer active, unlike Pazienza, who's been a pro since 1983, and is the reigning IBO middle and super middleweight champion. So just a couple of seconds left and in round one. And not a great deal in this one. Pazienza using his flash and speed. Haugen far more solid, digging home. Not much to separate them in round one. Into round two. Of course, this coming towards the end of the day of the 15-round title fight. And coming into this one, a couple of good wins on the Pazienza record. Joe Frazier Jr. beaten on a 7th round knockout just over a year before. And then Harry Arroyo, another IBF champion, also beaten by Pazienza on points. Not too many big names on the record of Haugen coming into this one. He'd beaten Freddie Roach, now a trainer, Edwin Corrett for the NABF Championship, and of course that championship win over Jimmy Paul. Of course, they both go on to much higher heights after this one, and it's worth, without giving anything away, it's worth just reminding you of the men that they go on to face, and of course some of the results that they would get, which I'll do a little bit later. And Greg Haugen had begun his fighting career when he was working as a sheet metal worker in Alaska, and he won every tough man contest he entered. Furious rally by both fighters there. Haugen connected. Pazienza said, "You're not going to get away with that." Back to those tough man competitions for the uninitiated. They're more or less street fights. You just queue up, and the next in the queue takes the man standing in the ring. The loser gets out, of course, and of course the last man there is the governor. And he'd get anything between $50 and $1,000 for winning those contests. And he'd also give away something like £50 and upwards of it to various opponents. Real tough character. And I don't quite know why, but Greg Haugen is sometimes called Mutt. Maybe because he's got the tenacity of a bulldog. Bags of action again. And once again, very hard to separate them.
Stay busy. Because you're hurting the last round.
And a lot of you, I'm sure, would remember that Vinny Pazienza actually came back from a horrific car crash which left him with a broken neck, of all things. And his family wondered whether he'd walk again. But, of course, he came back to boxing action, and is a reigning double champion. That's, of course, if you have any credence to give the International Boxing Organisation, the IBO. He, in fact, outpointed Roberto Duran over 15 rounds to win the super middleweight version. And Vinny Pazienza, known as the Pazmanian Devil, for obvious reasons. Well, when he broke his neck, he actually had a halo device. It was screwed to his head with 4 separate screws, and it was there, of course, to immobilize his neck. And he used to train with this device in place. A cocky defensive work there from Pazienza, another part of his trademark. And you've got to be supremely fit to fight the way Pazienza does. He's always on the move. Lovely right uppercut from Pazienza. Good shot. So Pazienza then winning round 3 with some very flashy work. Just a bit too mobile for Haugen. This is round 4, and of course scheduled for 15 rounds back in 1987. The good old days, if you like. And they weren't that long ago, were they? Isn't it incredible how boxing has really slithered? It's worth mentioning some of the amateur exploits of Pazienza. He's a member of the international boxing squad. He won many amateur tournaments and actually turned pro rather than try for the '84 Olympics, thinking his style was far more suited to the professional ranks. He was probably right, actually. And he actually left the amateurs ranked as the #1 featherweight. In fact, he won 100 of his amateur contests and only lost 12. Good form. Lots of his fights were televised, so they're very good following. Started boxing at the age of, what was he now, 7. Boxed up until he was 11, then he kind of drifted away, got involved with football and baseball and basketball and all those other American-type sports. And then one day, he was 15 years of age, and he saw the Sylvester Stallone movie, Rocky. And that was it. Next morning, he woke his father up and said, right, I want to be a fighter. And he's been on the road ever since. Trained by Kevin Rooney. And managed by Lou Duva and Shelley Finkel. And he and his father, Angelo, both own the gym that Pazienza works at. Once again, good action here. Pazienza, speed just getting the better of things. Haugen, of course, hoping just to brave this one out and get home with the odd shot. Brave decision of Haugen to defend in Providence, the hometown, of course, of the challenger. And once again, looks like another round this for Pazienza.